Hey everyone, and welcome along to Game 2 from the Fall of the Old World. This pits me up against Tam White, who's an Orc and Goblins player. And if you remember, my last game against Orcs and Goblins was a practice match against Graham, and it did not go well for me. So, I'm hoping that this time things may be a little different. And we'll quickly get into deployment. So on my opponent's right flank, he has a Doom Diver and a Ragnarok. He has another Doom Diver. Then he has a bus of 30 Black Orcs with his War Boss in there. Then he has a bus of Night Goblins. Then he has a horde of Savage Orcs, a Rock Lobber, another Ragnarok with his level 4 Goblin Shaman, another Doom Diver, and another Rock Lobber. And I absolutely despise Doom Divers. They're far too accurate, I think, but we'll see how that goes. And my deployment, my right flank, has a unit of Dark Riders, my 25 Corsairs with my Banner of the World Dragon. I have my 20 Black Guard with my Metal Sorceress, and Malekith himself sitting in the centre of my lines. I have my 25 Sisters of Averlorn and Handmaiden. Out here I have my Witch Elves, and on this flank I have a unit of Dark Riders and my Frostheart Phoenix. So he gets turn 1, and he starts off by killing off a couple of my Knights with a Doom Diver. Really doesn't move. I mean, I think he moves an Ragnarok up slightly, and literally nothing else. So magic is pretty much a bust, and he goes straight to shooting. So 2 of my Dark Riders die. In fact, that must have been a magic missile then. How did I manage to lose 2 of those? Because he then cast Itchy Nuisance on them, lowering their a couple of stats by 1. So I am absolutely no idea what happened there, and I managed to lose 2. Is it Gaze of Mork's Gaze or something like that? I don't know, guess it was one of those, and he kills off 2 of them. Anyway, I've spent too much time babbling about how 2 of them died. He plonks a Rock Lobber down, and another one, and there's not much left of my Sisters unit after that. Hear that, they only not. No, sorry, he plonked down the first Rock Lobber, it killed one under the hole, and then the others killed off a few more. Not much else happens in the shooting, but in my turn, I race up as far as I can. You will see that my other unit of Dark Riders, there's only 1 left. He did manage to kill off most of those. I'm just hoping here to get into his artillery and back lines, get all of them out of the way as quickly as possible so I have some troops left with which to deal with his large blocks. My Malekith runs forward up here, and I figure I can hold off those Black Orcs with Malekith for quite some time. They won't be able to do any damage to them. I'll probably be able to work my way through them and kill the whole unit. In that time, it gives my Witch Elves a chance to run up and then give some supporting attacks. It also draws out the Fanatics from the Night Goblin block, and they both go through Malekith, but they don't manage to get through his 2-up ward save. And on this side, I move up cautiously with my Corsairs and my Black Guard, and my little Dark Rider heads up here just hoping to maybe do something next turn or draw some fire, or if needs be, he'll be used to chaff up the Savage Orc block. That's just a picture of my Sisters taking some shots at the Black Orcs, I think. Don't really do much. And this is how things look at the top of turn 2. So the Black Orcs take the bait and charge straight into Malekith. I figure he's going to challenge him out. He has 3 ranks, a banner and a charge, which is 5. I'll probably do max overkill 5. On my leadership, I'll lose by 1 to a musician. On my leadership, I should stick around. And on my turn, I'll then focus on working my way around and taking out that unit. Over here, he takes some shots at the Phoenix, but isn't able to wound it, as I make 2 ward saves. Woohoo! I never usually make my 5-up ward saves, my Phoenix, so happy when I rolled double 6s there. Over here, the Fanatics have just ran around, sort of blocked off his Ragnarok a bit there, and they're just swinging away wildly. He then lands a stone thrower right on top of my Blackguard and annihilates about 9 of those, 10 of those. Stone throwers versus toughness 3 elves are a bit of a bitch, to be honest. And we go into combat. Malekith beats up the champion, loses the combat by the musician, breaks and flees. So I'm still having absolutely no luck with Malekith against Orcs and Goblins. On the bright side, he doesn't catch me, and I manage to rally in my next turn, hopefully. Into my turn, I declare some charges. My Phoenix makes it into this Doom Diver. My Witch Elves make it in against the Ragnarok. Malekith rallies. And over here, this Dark Rider charges the other Doom Diver. I'm just going to hope for the best here, and hopefully I can beat it in combat res and break it. And everything else you can see just sort of angles around, or basically I'm not wanting to get charged by the Black Orcs there with my sisters, so I try to give them a bad angle on that one, or at the very least turn them away so that they're as far away as I can. And I'm going to start shooting at some of the Savage Orcs, hopefully maybe whittle them down. In the magic phase, I get off Occam's Mind Razor on the Witch Elves. Gives them leadership. Strength 10 once I'm wounding this Ragnarok, so hopefully I can put the wounds through on that and kill it off. I then get the Enfeebling Foe off against the Savage Orc unit, bringing them down to Strength 3, which makes a difference, I suppose. My Frostheart Phoenix deals with a War Machine, no problem, and turns to face the centre of the lines. My little Dark Rider does fantastically. Manages to kill a Goblin. His horse kills a Goblin. I win the combat by 2. They break and flee. Sorry, I win the combat by 3, and they break and flee. And I pursue off the board just to prevent the Ragnarok being able to shoot at my Dark Rider next turn. And in this combat, the witches, as expected, do perfectly fine and wipe out the Ragnarok. So we're going into turn 3 now, and this is how things look. And right off the bat, he charges 2 units into Malekith again. So once again, it's going to be the same sort of deal. He'll challenge me out and try and hold me there for a while. Over here, his Ragnarok turns round to try and get my other Dark Rider and my Phoenix, who's going to come across and try and get his Stone Thrower there. He then misfires this Doom Diver here and blows it up, so Doom Diver goes boom. So that's the 3 Doom Divers gone, which I am extremely happy about. I'm already feeling much happier than I was against Graham at this point. One of his Stone Throwers then drops a stone on top of my Frostheart Phoenix. I fail the ward save, and he does about 5 wounds, enough to kill it. So bye bye Frosty. We then go into combat. After that, his Malekith kills the champion, and I've lost combat by 1 again, so I'm on 9. And I roll a 10. So Malekith flees again, but this time is caught down and massacred by goblins. Oh my god, I was so flabbergasted. And I know it was risky taking them outside of the BSB range to try and hold up the Black Orcs, but twice in a row to fail the 9 leadership, it was disheartening, let's say. I'm now a bit worried that I don't have the... I've just lost 1,000 points from Malekith there, so I'm massively down, and I need to start playing defensively rather than aggressively to save points at this point. So let's see how it goes from here. Yeah, smug little bastards. Anyway, so into my turn. My witches reform to face the rear of the goblins and the black orcs. The goblins had overrun into the flank of my sisters. So my Corsairs and my Black Guard turn around again, and they are hoping to come across here. I'm hoping the sisters can hold against the charge from the goblins. I've got my BSB there, so I've got the reroll. If they can turn to face and get the Black Guard in the flank, and the witches can maybe get into the rear of those Black Orcs, I hope that I can break them and get them going, and I may be able to take those 2 units and perhaps avoid the Savage Orcs altogether. At this point I get Glitter and Robe off on my Black Guard, just because I've not got much more magic left, and it gives them a 3-up armor save, why not? And I'm lucky enough that my sisters don't lose anything to the goblins. I managed to kill 1 or 2 on the way back, and I turn to face them. So that opens up some interesting possibilities there. We'll see what happens next. My Dark Rider up here had charged the Stone Thrower. He broke it and killed it, and overran straight into the Arachnarok. So that's not going to go well. And doesn't... over here, my other Dark Rider had come back on and charged across at this Stone Thrower. Sorry, this was most of his turn actually. I've missed, because in his turn his Arachnarok kills my Dark Rider, and his Savage Orcs had just ran up the board to try and catch up with my units down in the bottom left. We then go into my turn, and I declare the charge with this Dark Rider onto the Stone Thrower. My Black Guard charge into the flank of the Black Orcs, who had turned around to try and get into combat with the sisters. I thought this was a slight mistake on my opponent's part, but I do manage to get in. And I think last turn I must have moved my BSB across into my Black Guard as well, out of the Corsairs. Yeah, I did. I moved the BSB in there and then charged them in this turn, so that his war boss, who I'm assuming was having a magic weapon, wouldn't be able to hurt the unit. My witches get into the rear of these goblins, so I'm hoping that that's going to be the end of that unit. And over here, unfortunately, my Dark Rider doesn't manage to do anything to the Stone Thrower crew, and they turn around and kill him, giving up an extra 100 points. Excellent. But about time, and I had 2 single Dark Riders going about killing war machines, so I'm not too disappointed at their performance. The Black Guard managed to break the Black Orcs. However, they managed to get away, which was unfortunate because that's a lot of points in that unit with the war boss as well. And I really just need... This is turn 5 going into his turn 6, so I'm quite stuck here. I really need them to either not rally, or if they do, I need to break them on my next turn. Over here, the goblins kill off a few of my sisters, the witch elves that were in the rear, do I think about 15, 16 wounds. So I win the combat by a fair few. He's not steadfast. He breaks, he flees, and the sisters and the witches chase him down. So that's a few points there. I know it's not a lot because it's only goblins. And that leaves a long charge for the Savage Orcs if they want to try and get in against the Witch Elves. So I'm hoping that they won't make that. Just another picture of them charging them down. His Stone Thrower then tries to hit. In his turn, he fails the charge. He can't get in against the Witches, so he fails that. He rallies his Black Orcs, and then the Stone Thrower misfires. And it kills itself. He rolls a 2 and blows it up, so that gives me points for his War Machines as well. I got all of them. And over here, both my Corsairs and my Blackguard charge into the front of this Black Orc unit. I'm just going for broke here. It's very tight points wise at the moment. As all he's managed to get from me is the 2 units of Dark Riders, the Phoenix and Malekith, which is about 1,500 points. I've managed to get all his War Machines, his Arachnarok, and his big unit of Goblins with a Shaman, so I think what I need to do is break this unit to either draw the game or get a slight win. So we go into combat. I managed to put a wound on his War Boss. Then my Corsairs and Blackguard just go to town on these Black Orcs. So much so that there is one left who is a musician, and the Standard Bearer who is left as well, sorry. And the War Boss. So he's on a Snake Eyes roll, and he fails it. He flees, and at the end of the game, I fail to catch him. He rolls a 7 to run, and I roll a 5 and a 6 with my units to chase him down. So the Standard Bearer dies, but the Musician's still alive, so I don't get the points for the unit. His General's still alive, so I don't get the points for him. And that was how the game ended. Just with his full unit of Savage Orcs intact, his Shaman and Ragnarok up top, who had been untouched all game. And oh, it was so close. This came down, it was literally, I think, about 300 points in it, which made it an 11-9 victory to my opponent. So I was a little disappointed. Obviously, I lost Malekith on a couple of high leadership rolls for me. I changed the way I was playing this game dramatically after I lost Malekith. It was a case of get the points where I could. And had I got the Black Orcs and his General, I think it would have been an 11-9 victory to me. So, swings and roundabouts. I'm still having a bad time against Orcs and Goblins, but that's the way it is. It was a great game against Tam. It was a lot of fun. He was so happy he managed to kill Malekith. I don't think I've seen anyone so happy about it yet. But he said one of his friends did walk by and says he'll never shut up about it. So congrats, Tam, you killed Malekith with Goblins after all. It was a great game, and I look forward to maybe playing Tam again in the future. And so that's me, 1-1, lost 1. I'm mid-table at the minute, and I hope to see you all on the next battle report. Thanks.